On a quiet evening in late 2025, the flashing blue and red lights of a Flagstaff police cruiser illuminated the heavy timber of the She-Rah mansion. There were no cameras from TLC. No production crew. Just a crumpled white SUV and a realization that would shatter the carefully curated image of Kody Brown's loyal household. For years, Kody Brown preached the importance of the family unit, but when the metal crunched and the dust settled, a single question on a police report exposed a decade-long failure. Where is the insurance? In the next hour, we aren't just looking at a fender bender. We are looking at the legal paper trail that proves the favorite children were living on the same edge as the ones Kody left behind. It was a minor accident by most standards. Aurora Brown, Kody's eldest adopted daughter, was involved in a collision near the family's Coyote Pass property. To the casual observer, it was a rite of passage for a young driver. But when public records enthusiasts began digging into the incident reports from early 2026, the details didn't add up. Remember season 17, when Kody complained about the cost of Isabel's life-altering scoliosis surgery? He famously asked if she could go alone to avoid his own inconvenience. Reddit user Soban Watcher pointed out, Kody cried about Isabel's surgery costs but drives a $60,000 truck. The accident report for Aurora shows the same pattern. Luxury on the outside, zero safety net on the inside. The police report noted a delay in providing proof of insurance. For a man who claims to be a protector, the legal vacuum Kody left his children in is staggering. To understand why this crash matters, we have to go back. The Brown family has a long, documented history of avoiding traditional medical and auto insurance. In the early seasons, the family relied on God's protection and out-of-pocket payments. Christine Brown famously worked multiple jobs and used fans' crowdfunding to pay for Truly's kidney failure treatment. But surely, once Kody settled into the mansion with Robyn, things changed. The 2026 accident records suggest otherwise. While Kody and Robyn's home is valued at over $1.5 million, the financial transparency Kody demanded from Janelle was never applied to his own medical or liability coverage. In the state of Arizona, driving without proof of insurance isn't just a fine, it's a risk to the family's assets. If Aurora's accident had been more severe, the mansion on the hill could have been targeted in a personal injury lawsuit. Legal analysts suggest that Kody's habit of self-insuring is a gamble. By not having a corporate or family policy, he places the legal burden directly on his children. Kody quote, "I have to protect my house. I have to protect my wealth." But who was he protecting? As the 2026 records show, the white SUV sat in the driveway for weeks, unrepaired. For a man obsessed with his image, a damaged vehicle is a loud statement of financial strain. We have to talk about Aurora. She has often been seen as the loyal child, the one who followed Kody's rules to the letter. Seeing her standing by a wrecked car, waiting for a father who hadn't secured her legal safety, adds a layer of tragedy to the sister wives lore. Fan reaction. Aurora looks so lost in those photos. It's like she realized for the first time that being the favorite doesn't mean you're protected. Compare this to Logan or Hunter Brown, who moved away, secured their own careers, and, notably, their own insurance. The rebellious children are the ones who are actually safe. Following the 2026 incident, the cracks in the Kody Brown fortress became impossible to ignore. Public records show a series of liens and tax adjustments following the crash. The car crash no one talked about wasn't just about a car. It was the moment the public realized Kody's alpha male persona was a facade. He wasn't the provider. He was a man living paycheck to paycheck on TLC's dime, leaving his kids to deal with the police and the paperwork. What happens when the TLC checks stop? If a minor accident caused this much stress, what happens when the real world finally catches up to Coyote Pass? As we look at the footage of the mansion today, the white SUV is gone, replaced or hidden. But the digital footprint remains. Kody Brown's legacy won't be the big family he built, it will be the paper trail of the things he failed to do. The 2026 accident was a small event with massive implications. It proved that in the world of Kody Brown, loyalty is a one-way street, and it's a street with no insurance. Final thought. We see you, Aurora. And we see the reality behind the reality TV. Let's deep dive in full details. It was supposed to be an ordinary evening. A quiet suburban street. A white SUV. Flashing lights reflecting off a driveway. And a moment that, if fan speculation and scattered public records are to be believed, sparked one of the most quietly discussed mysteries surrounding the family at the center of Sister Wives. Not a scandal, not a headline, but a small incident that raised a much bigger question. Did the patriarch of one of reality television's most talked about families fail to properly insure his own children? Tonight, we take a slow, careful look at what people believe happened. We examine what public documents can and cannot confirm. And we explore why a minor traffic incident became a major talking point among the show's most dedicated followers. Because sometimes the biggest stories on reality television never make it to the screen. To understand why this moment resonated with fans, we need to step back. For more than a decade, viewers have followed the unconventional family structure portrayed on Sister Wives. The show premiered in 2010 and introduced audiences to the polygamist household led by Kody Brown. At the time, Kody had 4 wives: Meri Brown, Janelle Brown, Christine Brown, Robyn Brown. Together, the family included more than a dozen children. The premise of the show was simple. A plural family navigating modern life while sharing the emotional and financial complexities of a very unusual household. But over the years, viewers watched the family dynamic change dramatically. Marriages dissolved, relationships fractured, and fans began questioning the stability of the Brown family structure. By the early 2020s, the plural marriage had effectively collapsed. Christine left first. Janelle followed. Even Meri eventually separated, leaving Robyn as Kody's only remaining partner. Within the later seasons of the series, a phrase began appearing frequently: loyalty. Kody repeatedly described Robyn and her children as the members of the family who had remained loyal to him during the collapse of the larger household. In several episodes, Kody expressed frustration with what he saw as betrayal by the other wives and some of the older children. One quote from a season 17 episode became widely circulated among fans. Kody said, "Respect and loyalty are the foundation of this family." For some viewers, this framing created an uncomfortable divide. On one side were the children from earlier marriages. On the other were Robyn's children, including Aurora Brown. Aurora had appeared frequently on the show since Robyn joined the family. She was often portrayed as quiet, sensitive, and deeply connected to both Robyn and Kody. And according to fans, she was one of the young adults still living close to the family home during the mid-2020s. Which brings us to the event that started the rumor. Sometime during the 2025-2026 period, fan forums began circulating a claim. The claim was simple. A minor car accident had occurred near the Brown family's residence. According to the discussion threads, the vehicle involved was a white SUV connected to the household. Police reportedly arrived at the scene, and one of the individuals present was said to be Aurora. But here is where things become important. No national news outlet reported the incident. No official press statement was released. And no episode of Sister Wives addressed it. Instead, the story spread through fan communities. Screenshots. Partial police call logs. Speculation. Nothing confirmed. Nothing fully disproven. In the United States, many police dispatch logs and traffic incident reports are technically public record. However, access varies widely depending on location. The Brown family has lived in multiple states over the years, including Utah, Nevada, Arizona. Each state has different laws governing access to police reports. In Arizona, for example, traffic accident reports are generally considered public records, though personal details may be redacted. Arizona also requires minimum liability insurance for all drivers. As of recent state law, the minimum coverage requirements include $25,000 for bodily injury per person, $50,000 per accident, $15,000 for property damage. Driving without insurance can result in license suspension, significant fines, mandatory insurance verification. So when rumors surface that a family vehicle might not have been properly insured, fans immediately focused on the legal implications. But again, there is no publicly verified report confirming that the Brown family was cited for uninsured driving. And that distinction matters. Reality TV audiences have a unique relationship with the people they watch. Unlike traditional celebrities, reality personalities often present their finances, homes, and family structures directly on screen. Over the years, Sister Wives included many discussions about money, the cost of supporting a large family, the difficulty of maintaining multiple homes, and the complicated financial arrangements between the wives. Several episodes highlighted major purchases, including the family's move to Flagstaff and the controversial land purchase known as Coyote Pass. During those seasons, Kody himself spoke openly about financial strain. In one episode, he remarked, "This family has always been financially complicated." Fans remembered those comments. So when rumors of a car accident began circulating, some viewers immediately wondered whether financial pressure could have played a role in insurance decisions. Again, speculation, but speculation that quickly spread online. One of the most widely shared claims among fan communities involved a police presence at the Brown residence. According to discussion posts, officers were seen speaking with Kody outside the home. Some fans interpreted this as a routine follow-up related to the reported vehicle incident. Others suggested it might have been unrelated entirely. Without official documentation, there is no confirmed explanation. However, police follow-ups after minor traffic accidents are not unusual. Officers sometimes visit a residence to verify vehicle ownership, collect insurance information, complete paperwork if the driver left the scene earlier. None of those scenarios automatically indicate wrongdoing. But the image of Kody speaking to officers, real or rumored, quickly became the centerpiece of the story circulating online. The speculation reached its peak when fans began discussing insurance coverage for adult children living in a household. Here is where the legal details become important. In most U.S. states, young adults can remain on a parent's auto insurance policy if they live in the same household, regularly drive a vehicle owned by the insured parent. However, policies vary significantly. Some insurance companies require each driver to be listed individually. Others require separate policies once the driver reaches a certain age. If a driver is not properly listed on the policy, coverage disputes can occur after an accident. But again, there is no confirmed evidence that such a dispute occurred in this case. The conversation exists primarily in the realm of fan interpretation. Part of the reason this rumor gained traction is the family's long history of financial debate among viewers. Over the years, several issues sparked discussion among fans. Shared family finances between multiple households. Mortgage challenges after the move to Flagstaff. The expensive development plans for Coyote Pass. In early seasons, the Browns frequently discussed budgeting. In later seasons, financial tension became a recurring storyline. At one point, Kody Brown even remarked on the strain of supporting separate households. Those moments shaped the way fans interpret new information. When audiences see financial stress portrayed on television, they naturally begin connecting it to events outside the show. Online communities dedicated to sister wives reacted quickly. On Reddit, discussion threads appeared within days of the rumor spreading. Some users urged caution. One commenter wrote, "Unless there's an actual police report, this is just speculation." Others believed the story reflected deeper concerns about the family dynamic. Another user wrote, "If the kids are still living at home and driving family vehicles, insurance should absolutely cover them." Facebook fan groups had similar debates. Many viewers expressed concern for Aurora, emphasizing that if an accident occurred, the most important thing was her safety. Others criticized the spread of unverified information. The conversation revealed something interesting about the sister wives fandom. Viewers are deeply invested in the well-being of the children, even more than the adults. Throughout the series, Aurora has often been portrayed as emotionally close to both Robyn and Kody. Several episodes highlighted moments where Kody appeared particularly protective of Robyn's children. This perception sometimes caused friction with viewers who felt the other children received less attention. In season 16, for example, some fans pointed out scenes where Kody seemed especially focused on maintaining stability within Robyn's household. That perception fed into the rumor cycle. If the reported incident involved Aurora, viewers naturally wanted reassurance that everything was handled responsibly. But once again, there has been no public statement confirming the details of the event. One question keeps coming up among fans. If something did happen, why didn't it appear on Sister Wives? There are several possible explanations. Reality shows often avoid airing incidents that involve legal paperwork or insurance claims. Production companies are cautious about liability. Additionally, not every event in the cast's personal lives is filmed. Even long-running reality series capture only a fraction of what happens off-camera. It is entirely possible that the rumored incident simply never intersected with the filming schedule, or that it was too minor to include. Regardless of whether the rumor is accurate, it touches on a real issue faced by many large families. Auto insurance costs rise dramatically when multiple young drivers are involved. According to the Insurance Information Institute, adding a teenage or young adult driver to a policy can increase premiums significantly. For families with several drivers, the expense can become substantial. This is one reason many households carefully structure vehicle ownership and insurance coverage. The Brown family, with its unusually large number of children, would likely face the same logistical challenges. If there is a lasting impact from the rumor, it may not involve the accident itself. Instead, it highlights how reality television blurs the line between entertainment and investigation. Fans of long-running series often become amateur researchers. They analyze public records. They compare timelines. They cross-reference episodes with real-world events. The Brown family has been on television for over a decade. That level of exposure invites intense scrutiny. Even minor incidents can become major topics of discussion. After reviewing available public information, one conclusion stands out. There is no verified evidence confirming that Kody Brown was cited for driving without insurance or failing to insure a family vehicle. The alleged accident remains largely a story told through fan communities rather than official reports. But the conversation itself tells us something important. Audiences care deeply about accountability. Especially when it comes to families portrayed as role models on television. Sometimes the most interesting stories are not the ones that dominate headlines. They are the quiet moments. A rumor about a driveway. A police visit that may or may not have happened. A white SUV that sparked thousands of online comments. Whether the incident actually occurred exactly as described may never be fully known. But the conversation surrounding it reveals how invested viewers remain in the lives of the Brown family. More than 15 years after Sister Wives first aired, audiences are still watching. Still questioning. Still trying to understand the complicated reality behind one of television's most unusual families. And in the world of reality television, that kind of attention may be the most powerful force of all. Does Kody owe it to his remaining, loyal, children to provide a safety net, or is he right to let them handle their own, adult, problems? Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the police report findings. If you want to see the full breakdown of the Coyote Pass property taxes for 2026, click the video on the left. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the Brown family archives.